first week of March. My name is Carla Caldwell. I am your whole life healing nurse coach. And because it's the first week of the month, I'm going to take a little time to do some self assessment, collect data from the most important place of all, you, align with what matters most, and create an action item that makes the most sense. So if you're in, then I encourage you to tune in. Why is this so important? Well, we know that most disease is preventable. In fact, over 85% of heart disease completely preventable. Over 70% of chronic disease, so type 2 diabetes, most cancers, heart conditions, hypertension, liver disease, preventable based on what we do, think, and say. And one of the most important parts of prevention is being the captain of your ship. And how do you do that? By checking in monthly. So, what I have on the screen is the Whole Life Healing Assessment Wheel. I'm so excited. I've been tweaking this for the last couple of years, and I do believe that this is the absolute best version. So, just to orient you, or if you've seen this before, to remind you, this circle helps you collect data from the most important place, which I mentioned earlier is you. And the focus, the center is you and what matters most to you. This is at the core of your health. So from that lens, you are at the center. What matters most to you is it's the spark, it's the fuel. From that lens, we are going to assess these 8 areas of our life. These are 8 areas that most contribute to our health and overall well-being, our happiness. The surrounding items are the mindset piece. The mindset piece is critical. So that mindset is surrounding the assessment. So to experience the absolute best success and connection to yourself, I invite you to keep these 3 themes in mind for your mindset. Self-love. You will always get further when you love and appreciate yourself. There's a lot of science that shows this, that we are more likely to move forward when we feel confident versus when we are focusing on criticism, self-critique. Gratitude is a wonderful mindset. When we feel gratitude, our mind and body instantly change. We actually release serotonin, feel-good hormones. It boosts our immunity and we feel better. Mindfulness, mindfulness is the glue. This is the ability to focus the attention right here, right now. The best results are found right here, right now, not reminiscing or regretting anything from the past or thinking about the future, worrying about the future. The best outcomes are found right here, right now, the best information. Okay, so I invite you to look at this, and we're not going to, I'm not going to ask you to rate every area. I am going to ask you to pick which area most needs your attention. So, in other words, which area are you doing least well in? And if you're anything like me, you probably want to pick a few, but I'm asking you to focus on one. And the good news is that when you focus on one and improve one area, it affects the rest. Plus, this is a lifestyle, so it's not a one and done. You will be back next month to do this assessment, so it's okay. So looking at the circle, just pick the area that most needs your attention, the area that you're doing least well in. Don't overthink this. Okay, I know mine. Hope you know yours. If you don't know yours, then if you're watching live, you can come back to this. Or if you are watching the replay, pause until you find the one. So mine is rest and sleep. That's the area that needs the most attention. It's the area I'm doing least well in. Okay. So now, what are we going to do about this? Hold on, I will tell you. Keeping in mind the area that most needs your attention. How will you live your best life this month? So, if you are looking at the area you're doing least well in, think about what do I need to do better in this area. So for me it was rest and sleep, and I'm we first have to know where we want to go before we can start to direct our sails in that direction. So just me saying that I feel tired, that's not enough. I need to understand, where do I want to go? What is it I want to feel? And for me, I want to feel like I'm not going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. I want to feel like I'm moving a little slower with more intention, like I'm experiencing each moment instead of rushing. That will bring me more rest and recharge. Okay, so what new habit will you initiate, or what habit will you continue? I had a lot of clarity as I was speaking. So, for me, again, the area I'm doing least well in is rest and recharge. I've thought about what's going on. What do I want? What would it look like for me to feel better and not have rest and sleep be the area I'm doing least well in? And so I shared with you that I would be moving slower, I would be more intentional, I wouldn't be rushing. So, based on that, what is a new habit that I'll initiate or continue? And we always make everything SMART, because you're more likely to follow through if you write things specific, measurable, action oriented, realistic, and time sensitive. So, my habit is I am going to plan my day, because what's happening is I'm trying to do too much. That's the end story. So for you, you're going to look at the area that you are doing least well in. You're going to think about, what would it look like if I was doing fantastic? And then you're going to ask yourself, what is a habit I can initiate to do better in this area? And you're going to make it SMART. So I'll use myself as an example. I am going to plan my day because I'm doing too much. I am going to take 5 minutes in the morning to look at, to think about what it is I have to accomplish in my day. And I am going to pick the things that are most important and that I have time for. This will just help me be realistic, because when I don't do this, I try to do 20 things without even thinking about it. And I'm like, till the end, till I get up, till my head hits the pillow, I'm trying so hard to complete the 30 items when realistically I could have only done 10. So every day I'm going to take 5 minutes in the morning to make sure I'm being realistic about what I can accomplish. I'm going to pick the most important things. So now you ask yourself, what is your habit? and make sure that you write it instead of it being an idea. Like if movement is your worst area, don't leave it at, I'm going to be more active. We want to move from idea to action. So you want to make it smart. What is something specific you'll do that you can measure that's action oriented, realistic, and time sensitive for movement? So instead of I will move more, you might choose to say, I will walk 10 minutes or more per day. That's very smart. It's very specific. You'll know if you get it done. Only you know if it's realistic and it's time sensitive. All right, this is the important part. Well, all of this is important. But each part, if we leave it out, it will affect our success. And we want to be successful. We're in this to win this. So we are going to take care of all the parts. We want to look at potential obstacles and potential solutions. Now, everything that I'm talking to you about, yes, we're talking about March. Yes, we're talking about this assessment, but you can utilize this every day. Every day, anytime you set your mind to do something, you're more likely to succeed if you look at what could go wrong and potential solutions. There's a lot of science behind this. And if you look at successful companies, they do this very well. They are constantly thinking about what could go wrong before it goes wrong and creating solutions in case it does. You are a business of one. It is very important that we apply these success principles to our own self-organization. So whatever your goal is, think about what are some of the obstacles and barriers and what are potential solutions. It is very common to, oh, I'll think about that later, or, oh, this isn't that important. This is critical. Do not skip this part. It's only a minute. Just take a minute. Think about what could go wrong or obstacles and barriers and potential solutions. So for me, I mentioned earlier that I want to plan my day each morning. My biggest obstacles are going to be mental. I'm going to say things like, I don't have time. I'll do it later. I can't do that. So solutions, I will remind myself. In fact, I'm going to write on my journal, do not put this off, because when you do, you don't get it done later. If I leave my house before I do this, it's not going to happen because I'm going to get right into the whole hamster wheel of my day. So potential solution is that do this first thing in the morning before I can put my my planner. I have a paper planner right by my toothbrush. So it's the first thing I do. Brush my teeth, look at what's going on. Okay, get her done. For you just want to think about the barriers. And I call this part the being honest with yourself part. The more honest you are with yourself and the more you work with yourself, the more likely you are to succeed. And this part's important. You will demonstrate self-love and kindness to yourself and mindfulness when you are honest with who you are, with your strengths and your limitations, and create a plan that complements both of those. And then you're all set. You're all set for March. I'm so excited for you. Let me know what it is you're going to do. When you if you don't let me know, let someone that you care about, let them know which area you're going to work on in the month of March, and let them know what you will be doing for accountability purposes. There's something magical that happens when you share what you are working on, you're more likely to follow through because you said it out loud and someone heard you. Remember, be kind to yourself. You will get further being kind to yourself. Feel grateful. It's energizing. It's just a really good emotion to have. And as much as you can, stay in the moment. The best results are in this moment right now, not thinking of the past, not projecting into the future, being right here, right now. And I want to leave you with whatever action item you're going to take, make sure that you understand how it will benefit what matters most to you. This is really powerful. If your goal is centered around movement, physical activity, make sure you understand, okay, if I complete this goal, how will it benefit what matters most? What matters most to me is my family. So when I think about positive health behaviors, and I think, when I think of the goal that I set for making my plan early in the day for rest and recharge, when I am rested, I'm nicer to my family. I have more energy for the people that matter most to me. And that's important. Whatever your goal is, know what matters most to you and know the connection between if you complete that goal, how will it benefit what matters most to you? You're more likely to follow through. I am rooting for your success times 1,000. Remember that everything we covered, this is a lifestyle. You can apply this to every component of your life. Every time you're going to work on something, every time you're going to set a goal, you can use these principles to aid your success. So if you need a little accountability, let me know in the comments or message me. What are you working on for the month of March? If you have any questions, let me know. I am rooting for your success. Have a great day. If this was helpful, please share with your network. Thank you.